Welcome back to the channel. Tune in or go stout. I did not expect to be making this video, but the BLS gave us official job numbers, so I thought we'd take a look at them. Before we get into these numbers, I want to warn you, they're not a sign of positive things to come, but if you're a returning viewer to the channel, they are no surprise to you. The same trends we saw back in August and September are being followed through all the way through November. The BLS report for November shows that we added 64,000 jobs. Hold on to that figure for a little bit. We have to come back to it because there is a caveat that Jerome Powell mentioned at the Federal Reserve meeting last week. In addition to the 64,000 jobs gained in November, we lost 105,000 jobs in October. This one was pretty staggering, but there is a reason, so I will cut the government slack. A large amount of these come from the government employees being kicked out from the Doge cuts. Even though they happened earlier in the year, they didn't take effect or really matter until October, so that's why you see the large increase of job losses. And I do think that this will be revised up as we head into the new year. We already know October was the highest layoffs we've seen in 22 years, and I'm pretty sure the job losses along with the government shutdown are going to show the same thing. And speaking about revisions, it wouldn't be a BLS jobs report if there weren't revisions to the months prior. I'm trying to make sense of bullshit, guys, but it is quite difficult.
No, guys, come on, where's the Swiss-tusion?
We're revising the months of September and August. September was a modest adjustment. Instead of 118,000 jobs added, it was revised down to 109,000. As of current, this can always change, but August saw probably the biggest revision of it all. The negative 4,000 jobs that were announced for the month of August got revised down to negative 22,000 jobs, reinforcing the idea that these job numbers truly mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. These reports are the opposite of humble. They over-exaggerate all our gains and are always revised down. But in addition to the bad jobs report, we saw other factors that show a lot of worry. The underemployment rate. This means somebody who has a skill but is not working a job in that skill and is actually underemployed. That figure jumped from 8% to 8.7% in November. Along with the people being underemployed, there has been a large tick up in the amount of people holding more than one job. That number coming at 5.8%, which is the highest that we've seen since the early 1990s. When you put all this news together and look with your eyes instead of listening to what the government is telling you, it shows an unemployment that has climbed up each month by a point and is currently sitting at 4.6%. When I made this channel, the unemployment was sitting at 4.3%. When Joe Biden left the office, the unemployment was sitting at 4.2%. So this rapid escalation to 4.6 is not something to take lightly. I'm not going to say I'm an expert in this, but you might have heard of something called the Psalms rule. This is the idea that if unemployment numbers increase in 3 consecutive months by a certain rate, then it triggers a recession. By that point, the unemployment shoots up sharply. While we did not have the October jobs report, so we are not in the current Psalms rule trigger yet, at the pace that we're going, and given that the start of the years are usually pretty slow and there's no hope in sight for a lot of people, and just given how slow the Fed works, this number is expected to go up. Circling back to the 64,000 jobs that we added in November via the report, the weird thing about that is last week during the Federal Reserve meeting, Jerome Powell said, hey, don't trust the government numbers, and actually told us whatever numbers they give you, they're probably going to be 60,000 jobs off. So if we're in the mind of Jerome Powell, that November jobs report really is just 4,000 jobs added, which to me sounds a lot more realistic, because if you remember the ADP report that came out not too long ago, they said that we actually lost 32,000 jobs in the month of November. So Jerome Powell math seems way more accurate than the 64,000 number that nobody can really tell where that came from. This wouldn't be the first time that this administration has lied to us, so, put your dunce cap on and believe what you want, right? The last time the unemployment rate was this high was September 2021. Let that sink in for a moment. I know to a lot of you, I probably sound like a broken record, but this is just more reason for you to take your financial future seriously. If you currently don't have an emergency fund, please create one. Make sure you have money for a rainy day if it ever gets to that point. I'm not gonna go on my usual spiel of invest your money, be smart. Do those things at your own caution. I know in the last video I said buy gold, buy silver, do these things, but please look into these decisions. I am not a financial advisor and nothing I say is financial advice. It is just the direction that I'm putting my money in and moving my life towards. With how much money manipulation is going on currently, I don't think there's any risk-free path in today's economy. And that mindset that we once had of just throw it into an index fund and forget is going to be challenged very heavily coming up in this next year. It's easy easy to tell people to do this when times are not terrible. Even with the unemployment rate ticking up to 4.6%, this is not too concerning yet. The reason I started making these videos was not to make you scared today, was not to make you scared tomorrow, but really was just to give you an idea of what's around the corner. I said it last video, I'll say it the next video, and I'm gonna say it this video. If you take the advice to get prepared, then you will be better off once everybody else realizes that they need to prepare. Whether you like my channel or you just think that I'm a doomer, preparing is something that anybody and everybody should be doing. And I don't think preparation is really stock market at the end of the day. Preparing in my mind is finding a way to supplement your income, given the scary situation that you do lose your job. As being someone who's unemployed, I've had to get creative to fill in the gaps in the money that I should be making if I did work a job. I've covered before on this channel some of the things that I do, the side hustles. I guess they wouldn't be side hustles because they make up the bulk of my income now, but the things I do to stay afloat. I'm not a millionaire, I don't have $100,000, and I don't have a portfolio that I can brag about. And I'm fundamentally changing how I see money and view it so I can be better with it. The days of consuming just because you have an extra $15 around are gone. If you choose to live in that mindset still, I wish you luck because times will only get tougher. But for the people who do want to hang on to some peace of mind through this time, pay your debt off. Try to add an extra $100 to $500 in your monthly income if you can. I know this sounds like a monumental task to tackle, but I promise you every dollar you can save will help you in the long run. I don't want to seem like I'm dooming, but we saw our parents live through 2008. We saw the world live through the dot-com bubble. We've never heard firsthand accounts of what happened when we changed the monetary system, and the deliberate gaslighting and destruction of our currency is going to be a history-altering time for our generation. You can keep watching the TV, listen to Donald Trump say we have an A++++++ economy.
I wonder what grade you would give
A+.
your economy. A+.
Yeah, A++++++.
Or you can wake up and be realistic. With all the news I deliver on the channel about the market, I still wake up in the morning with a smile on my face. I still wake up grateful to have another day on this planet. And I still wake up with a fire in my spirit. Because in times of suffering, it's hard to be grateful. In times of being grateful, it's hard to remember when you suffered. But having the ability to be present, thankful, and cautious is what really will get you ahead. We are not that different. I don't own a home. I'm not where I want to be. I don't have a portfolio that I'm proud of. But I truly love life and I love people. And seeing people go through such hard times really does make my heart hurt, especially when it's young people who have talent and just need to be put in a position to win. But instead of seeing the value in a young mind and an eager heart, the people in charge just see us as pawns. They know that anger can usually be manipulated. And when you have a young generation with nothing to lose, no skin in the game to care about, it gives them an easy out for decades of mismanagement and breaking of trust. I know at this point I might be rambling, but I don't know how to say it any clearer. Find a way to disconnect your life from the system. Stop going to big box stores. Start saving every dollar you can, and if it's possible, find community or make community. The corporations won't bail you out, the government could care less, but your neighbor is willing to give you a cup of sugar if you need it, and that's more than we can ask from most people. But again, what do I know? I'm just an unemployed guy playing Call of Duty, sharing my opinion. If you agree or disagree, let me know down below in the comments. Will we see unemployment tick up higher, or is there some type of rescue coming to the job market? Thank you for the continued support on this channel. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to join the thread. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.